Hi everyone, it's Dasher Dave here again, back for another crafty video. So, this time we're going to make another style of box. So, we are going to make one of these, which is a little, so let's just open it. So I've sealed it because it's a brand new one. Margot's just going to open it for you. So, just open that seal, there we go. It's a little box, so it's a pull tab box. And then in here, so just stuck to the edge, so you can see here, like just stuck on here, it's a little tape dispenser style box, and we're just going to make that, and it has a little reel inside with some tape on it. So we're going to decorate some tape and we're going to put it inside one of these boxes, and I'm going to show you how to make that box. So I have a template here, so if you want to, so don't just ignore this line down, this crease down the middle, but like if you want to kind of just like have a look at that, or freeze frame or whatever, and then you'll be able to see it, and then I'll give you the measurements. So I've got the measurements that I've just kind of jotted down. So there's my scruffy writing, so I try not to get it in camera because nobody wants to see my scruffy writing. I don't want to see my scruffy writing. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a piece of paper and a piece of card. So again, we're going to use some file folder, and the piece of card measures, so let's just do that so you can see and that I'm not cheating, because I have cut this card already, but the piece of card, let's do it on this, actually you can see it on here better. So the piece of card measures 6 by 11 and a quarter, so which is what you need. 6 by, sorry, 11 and and an eighth. Not 11 and a quarter, 11 and an eighth. Okay, so 6 by 11 and an eighth, and then you're going to need a scoreboard as well. So get that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start this way round. Okay, let's turn my board over to the inches. So we're going to make score lines at, and I'm going to tell you now. So remember, we've got 6. So this is to make a box for a reel. That's the thing I need to tell you. I've made a reel. So I really made a reel. So this is a reel that I made, and what I did was I took some of this tube. Yeah. So this was from the middle of, I can't remember what it was. It was the middle of, I think it was cling film or something like that. And all I did was, I know it's not straight. It's not straight on both ends, but like I cut it down to the size that I wanted, which was slightly bigger than the tape, and the tape is the same, so is this, so it's the same that's in that box there, but I've just got some ready for it. Okay, and this measures, so it depends on what width your tape is or whatever you're going to use. So this measures 1 inch. Okay, and this measures 1 and an eighth, to give it a bit of space, a bit of wiggle room on it. Okay, and so this is inside here, and that's the reason why for the holes either side. So I'll come to making that in a second, but I'm going to show you the box. So okay, what you're going to need to do is you need to make a score line. So hold it, have it sitting lengthways going horizontally. Okay, so so you're going to have it like portrait style. Okay, or panoramic in this case. So, and then you're going to have your first score at 1 3/8. Okay, so I've put a line on my board, so I've got that already. So decide which side you want facing up. I'm going to have that, so this is facing up. I'm sorry, this is going to be the outside. So whatever's facing up is the outside of your board. So you're going to do 1 3/8. I'm going to put a score line in there. Okay, and then your next score line is 4 7/8. Okay, and then your next score line is 6 2/8. And your next score line then is 9 6/8. Okay, and then you're going to turn it round 90 degrees, and you're going to have it portrait style now, and you're going to put another line in at 1 3/8. we go. Let's make sure that's in. Yep. And then we're going to go to 4 7/8 again. So 4 7/8. And that's it. We don't need to worry about that side of it now. Okay. There's no more to do. Okay. So this measures. So this measures. I was going to tell you in centimeters then, but this measures 3 1/4 inches in diameter. So this space measures 3 1/2. This box part measures 3 1/2. So this box measures 3 1/2, and it's square. And again, that just leaves a bit of wiggle room for the reel to spin. Okay. Now I know you don't have. You could put some ribbon in it. You could do whatever you like. You don't have to go to the lengths of making one of these, but I did because you know me. So this is the shape that you're going to have. Now it looks really complicated, but it's not. It's easy once you know how. So I'm going to keep that on screen so you can see. Okay. So first of all, what you want to do is you want to put all your folds in. So all you're going to do is you're just going to put them in and use your bone folder, Dave. There we go. Bone folder. And you just want to put all of those in. So again, fold it over and score that in. Fold it over, score it in. And this just means that when you come to put the box together, it makes it sits all nice. Yeah, and then you're going to do the same with these longer ones. I'm just going to put all of those in. Okay, so then you're going to have it like this. So the reason it's slightly different. So you can see here, this flap is slightly wider than this flap. Okay, and that's because what we're doing here is this is the front and this is the back. So the back doesn't quite line up, and that's because if you want it to line up perfectly, all you're going to have to do is add a further 3/8 of an inch on the end to make it to fully line up. But I wanted it to look like it's been stuck down and then sellotaped, etc. So my authenticity. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to cut this. So, and there's a particular way to do it. So the side that you have with the accurate 1 3/8 of an inch side, and then the shorter tail, just the tabs. You want the tabs on your right hand side, the actual frontage on your left. Okay, for the time being, anyway. Okay, so this is exactly the same way as this is. So this has got the shorter tabs on this side and the full width on this side. So it's cut strangely, and that's simply because this is the way that we're going to put it all together, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. Okay, first of all, what you want to do is you just want to pick it up and cut down all of these sides to the middle, to this line. So you're just going to cut down. Now you're not going to shape it like we normally do, like you normally shape it, because I'll show you why in a minute. We're just going to cut them all first, just into that first score line. And turn it round and do the same on this side. So you're not cutting either side of the score line, you're cutting exactly on that score line. So right down the middle of it. There we go. So, and again, back round the same way. So I will always put it back down the same way as this is to stop it getting confusing. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is you're going to cut this bottom tab out. So this one, you're going to cut this out. Okay, so that means you're just going to cut down that score line to that corner. Okay, so that bit's been cut out. Okay, then the next tab up from there, so again we're talking about the right hand side here, we're just going to cut that down. It doesn't matter how big you cut it down to, you just want to be able to have enough of a tab to be able to glue it all together. So don't cut it too short, but equally you don't need it that long either. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut the ones on this side. So this time we're just going to cut this middle flap down. Yeah, I'll see it's a little bit longer than the other side, but not a problem. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to turn it round just for the time being. So now it's this way up. Yeah, and we're going to cut this top tab out, or now is the bottom tab. I'm going to cut that out. Okay, so again, I'm going to turn this back round again. Okay, now you can see it's still not quite the right shape. There's a bit here that we're going to cut out, and there's a bit here that we're going to cut out. Okay, so all that you need to do before that is you're just going to get your scoreboard again, or a scoreboard. I will just get a scoreboard. There's one here. Okay, I'm going to put this on here, and where this tab is, you just want to get the same measurement on each one. So we're just going to put that fold up. So all I'm doing is I'm folding that bit up. Yeah, but that fold up to the edge of your scoreboard. Get your scoring tool, and you're just going to go 1/2 inch down and put a score line. Yeah, and then you're going to turn this round and just do the same here on this tab, and you're just going to go in at the same let's do that because I can't see the half from this end. And you're just going to go there, and you're just going to go 1/2 inch there. Okay, so again we'll turn it back round to the same way as it was. Okay, so now we've got a score line here and a score line here. That means that we can cut these boxes out. Okay, and that's the bit where through which the tape will bend. Okay, so because we're cutting it out, we're not using it as part of the mechanism. We're cutting that fold completely off. So where the dome of the score line is, we're cutting that off. So that's the bit that's going to go. That's the waste bit. So we're just going to cut that off, and then we're just going to cut down that line there, that straight line. I'm going to turn it round. I'm going to flip it over so that you can see what I mean this time. So we're not going to cut this side of that score line. We're going to cut this side because we're cutting it off. Okay, and then you're just going to cut that whole bit off. There we go. Okay, so when it all goes together, that will form your little vending bit there. Okay, so that's that bit. Okay, and that should be that way around, Dave. Okay, next thing you need to do is you just need to shape your tabs. Okay, so what that is don't look at this one on this one, because I changed the design slightly. You're going to shape this tab, so anything on the narrow bits, you're going to shape it just on this one side. Just going to shape it down so it's that shape. You skip this, and then you just, again, on the narrow bit, you're just going to shape it. Okay. And that just prevents it getting all in the way of the mechanism. So it's literally just those two that you're going to shape on this side, yeah, and then you're going to turn it round, and then it's just this one in the middle that you're going to shape on this side. Okay, and that's it. No other shaping of those. Okay, so that's because this one is going to be this flap here that we want it to sit the full width. Okay, and then the other ones are all tucked away inside. Okay, so now we've done that, what we need to do is we now need to establish where our hole's going to go. So let's move that out of the way. So all I did was I took a compass, okay, and I then found the middle of my square. So I know it's 3.5. So I find the middle of the 3.5, which is, excuse me, sorry, which is 1 1/4, I believe. No, 1 3/4, Dave. 1 3/4 there. And I do the measurement on this bit and go across that line there. Yeah, 1 3/4 there. So that there should be our middle. Okay, and again, you're going to do the same on the other bit. Although we can cheat and use that horizontal line there. I'm going to go. No, I have to do it that way, Dave, because that's where the inches are. You're going to go 1 3/4 there. I'm going to turn it around that way, measure it across that line, and it's in the right place already. So that's because we'd already made that line. So then what you're going to need to do is you're going to put a pencil in your circle thing. Okay. You're not going to cut the circle out, so just bear that in mind. So then what you need to think about is the middle of your reel. How big is the middle? Now this was made using the punches that I had available to me. So this is, sorry, I used not punches, I used dies that were available to me. So I will make this on camera with you in a moment, but the middle of this is 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch. So again, we're just going to measure that. So what I did was I went just a little bit smaller than 3/4 of an inch. Okay. Only like a fraction, like only one of those little marquee things, and that'll do. And then I pop that in the middle of that, and I just drew, trying not to move it. You see, this is my problem. I'm terrible at using a compass. I got thrown out of school for stuff like this. Is that right? No, Dave, that you've completely messed that up. No, I'd be being silly. You want to know half. So half of that, Dave, which is 3/4 of an inch. It's or almost 2 centimeters. So if we go for 1 centimeter, Dave, that's why, Dave, it went wrong. It's all right. Nobody lost a limb. I haven't cut anything out, so it's all right. It's just a bit of extra pencil mark on the inside that nobody will ever see. So again, pop your pen. Oh, Dave, don't close the gap. Mind the gap. Don't close the gap. I can't. You see, this is why I can't use things. I'm sure there used to be a way to be able to tighten these things up, but they used to be made of metal in my day, so. Okay, so you're not really going to need this pencil line for anything other than, let's just make sure that was the same. Yeah, it is. It just look different. Okay, so hopefully you can see these 2 pencil lines. We're back the same way that we had it before, okay? And all we're going to do now is we're going to take a blade, there, a blade, and we're just going to go, no, again, we've still got stuff on the end of here. Don't, just be careful cleaning the end of your blade. Just want to clean the end of the blade so that you can see what I'm doing. So there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the middle from one side to the other, and then I'm going to turn it around, and you're going to cut it up into like pizza into 6 across like that, and again like this. Just take your time when you come to this side, because now this is it's going to want to pull back on itself. So you turn it back round and you go from outside to the inside. They don't have to be accurate, okay? So let's not worry about the accuracy of it. I'll do the same again on here. And then the same again here, and then that one, rather than snagging, just turn it back round and into the middle like that. Okay, so that's back round the same way as we had it before. Move those things out of the way. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're just going to open these out a bit. Yeah. Just take it gently to start with. Yeah, and then put your finger in it. Whichever finger fits. Just don't get your finger stuck. Otherwise, you know, you have to go to work the next day like that. So, again, just tease it to start with. And then get your finger in. If you just try and poke your finger through it, then you can end up with a horrible mess. Okay, so that's it. So they're going to be the things that support our reel in the middle. So let's move that to one side and I'll show you how I made the reel. So it's real. I'm showing you how to make a reel. How real can you be? How low can you go? Let's see if I've got... Is this going to be big enough? It is. I like to use up bits of old... No, that's not going to stay up, is it? No. Everything's sliding off down here. So, what I did was, hopefully these are going to fit. So I just got 2 pieces of cardboard that were the same size, and I lined it up. So what you're going to need now is, if you're going to die cut, is you're going to need to hold it down with something. So I'm just going to use some washi tape. Hopefully this cardboard is the right size. Just want to make sure that it will fit on that. No, it's not quite big enough for it. So let's get some other cardboard. So that we can make it... Come now. There's plenty of cardboard in this house. Let's not use that. Oh yeah, let's use this. So let's cut this down. So let's get that, Dave. So I'm just going to cut this down. Because I want to show you how I made this. Because all I did was use 2 dies. So I just basically layered the paper together. Make sure that they're both together, yeah. And then I take the die first and I put that in the middle of this piece of card and I just stick it down with a bit of washi tape. Okay, and then I take my next size die, which is the middle bit, which is that one. Let's see, it's that one. Yeah, and then all I did was I eyeballed it. So you can tell that's not in the middle, can't you? So I literally eyeballed it. Now, if you're not particularly good at eyeballing something, you might want to use a ruler and do some measuring, etc. But I'm not brilliant, but I'm kind of fairly okay. And I'm also using, can you see where the tabs have been broken off from where it was all joined together because they were like concentric sizes? I'm just using those as a bit of a guide as well. And then I'm just going to put that on there and keep it where it is. So that's the reason for using the washi tape, to make sure it doesn't move. You can just then give it a bit more of a check and move it a little if you think it needs to be moved, but at the end of the day you're not really going to see it. So, and then I get my, that was my brick falling over, by the way, in case anybody wondered what that was. That was Mavis the brick. She's my rock. Well, she's not, she's my brick. Please don't fall on my head. I've just hung the scoreboard back up, so if you hear something crash and see blood splatter, it's it's me having a scoreboard fall on my head. So just going to put this through my die cutter. And again, just give it a wiggle if you think it's moved. And pop it through. Okay, so I'll just put them both together. So both pieces of card together. Okay, now they're not necessarily going to have cut out together. Oh, they did this time. But if they don't, what you can do is you can just take the top layer out, and then it'll have imprinted in there, and you just sit it in the groove so that you both, so the 2 pieces are in the same place. So the 2 sides, the holes are all in the same place. You just need to be careful when you're peeling your washi tape up to stop it from tearing your card. That's waste anyway, so it doesn't matter, but this bit isn't the waste. We're going to take the middle out. Hopefully it's cut through both bits. It has, that's good. Take that off. And you're not going to need any of that waste stuff. You just want to make sure you don't lose your dies though. So, let's get those out of the way. So that's what I did to make those. And like I say, I just cut a piece down. I'm not going to cut this. No, I was going to cut this for you on camera, but this, when I was cutting this, because I used a hacksaw to cut it, that's the best. I found that's the best way to do it, is to cut it with a hacksaw. The problem is when I'm using this, it makes it extremely dusty in here, and I do not stop coughing. So there's a piece here that's like really wonky, but like in theory, this is what you're going to do. You're going to put this in between the two bits and sandwich it together. You're just going to glue it down and it will go together nicely. So then you've got your two holes, which are, well, they're not perfectly in the middle, but like, that's not bad, is it? So there you go. That's how you make that the reel. So let's come back to this. Sorry, just thinking about cutting it made me feel breathless. So now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this together, and I'm going to show you how. Okay, so what you want to do is, this is the back. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it around this way, so it's this way now. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue one side of it down. Okay, and that's this side. So I'm going to glue this bit so where the tab is missing. So I'm going to fold that bit in, yeah, and then fold this bit up, and then we're going to glue that tab. We're just going to glue it at the bottom though. Okay, so we're going to put those bits together, and we're going to shape it on this edge here. Don't just bend it fully in, because you remember you've shaped the tab, and it will just bend in and it won't line up. It won't be a perfect box shape that way then. Okay, you see how that line doesn't meet up with that fold perfectly because we've shaped it. Okay, and you're going to do the same on this tab, but this time this tab can be no, I won't fully glue it. I was going to fully glue it, but I don't want to confuse everybody, so I'm just going to half glue it again. Okay, give it a smoosh. Okay, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to turn it around just so that you can see on the camera, and I'm going to fold this up, and again we're going to shape this edge here. So this is the back. There we go. Okay, so now what we need to do is, so it's now, again, it's still this way up, yeah. So we've changed it was this way up, we've changed the orientation, it's this way up now. So again, we're going to do this side now, and we're just going to glue all of this tab, because this is the full width of this front piece. So we're going to glue the whole thing. Sorry, next door's dog is barking. And we're going to line that up again, so that it's so this line meets this corner. Yeah, okay, so now we've got like what looks like a pizza box with a bit of a weird shape and a bit cut out. Okay, so now's the time when you have to start thinking about putting your reel in. Okay, so instead of putting the reel in now, I'll show you what we're going to do first, and then we'll do it in a minute when we've made the tape to go on the top of this. So what happens next is this tab's going to go over here, over this back bit, and glue down. This top bit is going to glue to this bit here, yeah, and this front panel is going to glue to here, but we're going to leave this panel open. Okay, but we'll do that in a second. I'm going to move those out of the way, because now we're going to make the tape to go on here. Now I do have some tape already here. so I'll make a confession, okay? This is my genuine vintage old stuff that I keep. Well, it's not that vintage, but you know, it's fairly vintage, 80s I think. And I keep that for special occasions. But I did buy some of this from scrap, which is again gummed paper, and it, for some reason, it's rolled with the gum on the outside. Don't know why. I don't understand. But I've used this because it lies a bit straight, a bit flatter than that one, and it's much easier to do stamping on, etc. So we're going to do some stamping on here, and I've already created my stamp, and we're going to say by air. Okay, so we're going to have 2 stamp pads. Let's get the 2 stamp pads, because certainly in the UK, if you send anything by air, it's usually in red and blue. Okay, so we're going to have by and air. Hopefully I can do it in one go. Okay, and then we're just going to stamp that on here. Hopefully somewhere in the middle, but I don't care too much. By air, there we go. So, and we're just going to do that all the way across this. So there you go. That's it. That's where we currently are with that. So just roll it back up again now. Okay. Actually, I don't need to roll it back up again because I can roll it onto the reel now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just lick the very end of it because it is gummed paper. I'm just going to stick it on the roll so it's ready to go. Okay, and then I'm just going to ravel it up this way. So, you know, you can stamp whatever you like. I was going to stamp fragile, but for some reason I don't seem to. I've lost my G. So my G has gone walkabout. I've got every other letter in the tub, but I don't know where the G's gone. So we're doing by air instead. So we can do fragile another time, can't we? So this is just going to all ravel onto here. Now, obviously, if you wanted to make this longer, you can, if you wanted to make it longer, or you wanted to make it with something else, or you could just use bits of paper. You just join them together. You know, just overlap the very tiniest bit of the edge, and it's like splicing it together. Or you could use washi tape, or the washi tape that like this washi tape that I make using my napkin scraps. So this is just on double-sided sticky tape, so it could be a great place to put all of that. So it's whatever you want it to be, or you can just have it so that you can create that that feeling of nostalgia. So we're going to have that on the sorry, that's going to be the tape, so that's going to go on the inside. So now we can bring our box back, okay, and now we'll be able to build our box, complete it. So now this tape needs to go in this way round, so that the top, so this is the top of the box where the slot is, so that it's at the top, okay, and you're going to pop it in there, and then you can just push those little that little hole in, so it holds it, so it holds the reel, and then you're going to do the same when you close the lid. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to glue most of the tabs except for this one. So we're going to glue all of this one down. We're going to glue all of this one down. of this one down. Okay, now you're going to go over the outside. So the back one won't line up, remember, because it's not the right size. The top one will, because it is exactly the right fit, and the side one will as well, because that's the right fit. So you might want to get your finger in there, or a bone folder or something like that to kind of just make that. You need to be able to push from both sides, which is very hard when you made a box. Okay, and you can do that again on this side. There we go. Give it a bit of pinch. Push that, press that down on that side. Okay, there we go. So, and then the only other thing you want to do is you want to make the front bit. So, what I did on mine was I just used a piece of this cross-grain gribbon. Some of that. Stop making yourself laugh, Dave. So, I just snipped a bit off. Okay, might be a bit big, that bit. Yeah, it's way too big, Dave. Way too big. So we're going to go for there. And then what I did was just to stop it from fraying, which when you've glued it down, it's not really going to fray. Just used a pair of pinking shears just to make it less likely to fray. Okay, then I glued it together. And literally all I did was I used that. I didn't use any 3-in-1 or anything like that. Just glued that together. And I glued it onto here. And obviously you can personalise this. You can make this however you want it to look. You can have whatever you want in it. Okay. And then all I did was, oh, except for I've lost the end of my ribbon now, so that's going to be fun. So sorry about that. I lost this inside, so I had to get it out again. So there we go. So that's a tip for you. Don't lose that. So what I did was I just cut this off so it's a bit straighter. I've licked the very tip of it, and I mean, like, you know, if you haven't got sticky gummed paper, then you know, you just put a dot of glue on the back, and then that way then it sticks out ready for when the person opens it. And then I just put a dot of glue. Right, just make sure that's gonna sit nicely. Yep, it is. Put a dot of glue either side. Not a lot, because you really don't want it to stick properly. You want to just it to be sealed. I'm just gonna pop those on like that. There you go. So you've got your little ribbon holder there, and then what we need to do, well, ribbon at your tape holder, and then what we need to do is we are going to give it a bit of a grunge up, you know, the stuff that I like to do, the grungy stuff that I like to get in with. So these are just some of the little ones that I keep forgetting I have these every time. So hello. Oh, hello. And you know, if you don't like it smooshy, like it as dirty as I do, then don't do it. That's entirely up to you. You can, you know, you can adapt these, make them as pretty. You could put them in nice boxes, nice paper. You know, you could use nice florals or whatever, however you like. And I mean, it's practical. You could literally just put, you know, your homemade washi tape in there and the like. So all I did then was, you know, because it's a Denizen style box, I then put on some of my labels that I made, which I'm now struggling to find, so back in a second. Okay, so found them. I've put them away, that's why. So these are some of the labels that I made from last time when I was just footy cutting. So let's see if there's anything here that is suitable. You know, it doesn't matter what you put on there. So you might want to stamp that it's airmail or whatever. You might want to put a bit of, actually let's get a bit of that tape. So I'll use some of my genuine old stuff. You'd probably have want a sample of what was in the box on here. There's a wasp in here. That's not good. Let's hope it's not an angry wasp. There we go. Have that. Just chomp that off at the end. And at that end. Put that on. Let's cut that down a bit more, I think. More off that end. And a lot more off that end. Have that on the top so you can see what it is. Oh, good that it's already sticky, so and then we can have a little label, like a reorder label or something on the one that's got not quite so much. Oh, let's put that one. That's quite a decorative one. We'll put a number on it. I think some random numbers lying around here. I think. Usually are. Yeah, there's one here. Put that on the end of there. We'll stamp that in. Not blue. Let's go green. There we go. Put that on the side, maybe. Can have could be a packer's signature. And then we're going to ink this because it's way too clean for me. Way too clean. Let's use some of this. So this is rusty. Try again. This is Rusty Hinge. Okay, just going to curl the edge. I like it. I like that kind of look of agedness. There we go. Oh, so I won't stick it fully down because obviously we want it to look like it's curled up. Let's wipe that across the back. Put that on the outside. Put something on the front. I don't know what. Something else. Order number. It says 23 on it already, so I don't have to do anything. So. This time, instead of putting it at the bottom, I'm going to put this one at the top on this tab. Like that. There we go. So, another one of the Denison style labels, because thanks to Tracy I'm now known as Denison Dave, so changed my name by deed poll. So, yeah, thanks Tracy. So yeah, there you go. You can make one of these little boxes with and you know, that's quite a authentic looking box. Definitely seen some of them in my past. And you can, you know, obviously don't lose the end of your tab, Dave. There you go. So that's it. So I hope you like that. That's another little make, another little construction-y make. Like I say, this is the template. That's the way up we started on the video. This is the wider side on this side, and the narrow side on this side. And I'll put the measurements in the description, so you can, so like when I talk about long ways, this is the long and this is the wide, so this is the length and this is the width, okay? And then you'll be able to see how to make it, and you know, you follow the video and hopefully you'll get the same results. And that's like just another little thing to do. And obviously if you need to make it bigger because your reels are bigger, then you just need to scale it up. So but this will fit just nicely on that little anchor, and it fits nicely so that it turns within that area, and that way then, because of the size of this, if it is a little bit out, it's not going to get caught in the mechanism of it all. But there you go. So I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, if you want to support me, if you want to buy me a coffee, I'm absolutely happy for you to buy me a coffee. I'll probably have a tea though, to be fair. Or you can support me on Ko-fi. You can choose your amount on Ko-fi. You can also buy some one-page digitals for like 50p on my Ko-fi, and there's some free pages on my Ko-fi. And you can also buy my items from Etsy, and the link is also in the description. So my pages. In the next video that I do, will be doing something with some of my digitals. So I will see you in the next video. So thanks very much for watching. Hope you're going to go and make some of them. And you know, if you do, tag me. And you know, if you feel like sharing it, please consider sharing it. Definitely give it a thumbs up. And you know, subscribe if you're not already. And I'll see you in the next video. So don't forget, I love you all without exception, until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, folks. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye.